Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of the Diagnostic Train. And as usual, this is Mitch at Diagnostic North. What we have on the other end of this OBD plug today is a 2018 Kenworth t880 with an X15 Cummins engine. And the customer's complaint on this truck ends up being a hard to start when sitting overnight, accompanied with an intermittent stall event, but then you can just start the truck right back up and keep on going. So let's do a fault scan and see what that tells us. There's really nothing to see here. We do have some power codes, but I'm not too concerned about those at the moment. We can start this truck just fine, and if we clear that code, it goes away. Well, unfortunately, the fault scan didn't reveal much, but I believe that we're dealing with a fuel issue where it's losing its fuel prime overnight, and the fuel supply inside the suction line is draining back to the tank. Let's have a look at the entire fuel system and see if a visual will help us out at all. Check out these crusty crusties. Yeah, it's not the prettiest looking truck, but man, it actually helps us troubleshoot this, because if we do have a fuel leak, we're going to be seeing a lot of fuel kind of just sticking to all that dirt. All right, my main focus right now is going to be looking inside the fuel water separator and have a look at that check valve to make sure that it's not broken and it's functioning properly, which is located right inside this filter housing. And unfortunately, it's not like a regular Davco filter where you just have a little plastic ball with a spring. This one's incorporated into this filter housing. Let's not overlook the little things and have a look at the sealing surfaces of these fittings that mount the fuel lines to the filter housing. I have seen these fittings cause issues in the past, but today I don't think that we're dealing with a major issue, even though there is a little bit of scoring on that JIC style tapered sealing surface. Let's have a look inside this filter housing to see if we can put some eyes on that check valve. But before we get ahead of ourselves, do you guys see that? Do you guys see that little crack right against where it mounts to the frame? I think that is the problem that we've been looking for. And if you look on the outside of the filter housing, it looks wet, like it's been leaking for quite some time. I bet you that this is our problem. There's even a crack on the outside of the filter housing. So if you guys see this crack on your filter housing, be prepared to spend over $1,000 from the Kenworth dealership for new filter housing. So now that we have this filter housing off, we can have a better look. And I'm going to run my finger in here and see just how deep this crack really is. It looks like it's missing a piece of the housing. Yeah, it doesn't feel very good. There's definitely no longer a tight seal, especially when we're dealing with fuel. We need to have a tight seal to keep all that air out. And look how jam-packed the back of this aluminum housing is. It definitely doesn't help that we live in the Rust Belt. Look at all that crud jam-packed in the back of this filter housing. Let's compare that to the new one. So we managed to source a new filter housing from the dealership. Comes with a filter and new fittings. So we're just going to quickly slap that on so we can prime our fuel system. Now that we have this new fuel filter housing installed, we're ready to prime our fuel system. We're just going to do a couple key on cycles so that this filter housing fills up with fuel. I think this is a good time to point out how cool Cummins engines are compared to the rest, for the plain and simple fact that they have an electric lift pump. It makes changing filters so much easier compared to a Detroit or an MP8 Mac, etc. This is pretty cool. What do you guys think? Tell me down in the comments below. I suppose time will tell if we fix this truck. I feel pretty confident about it. We found some rock hard evidence that we had a problem, and we got it rectified. If you guys like the content, hit the like button, leave a comment down below, and don't forget to subscribe. As usual, this is Mitch at Diagnostic North signing off.